Hey everyone, I have this great video for you guys. We're going to be looking at this collector's edition. I don't exactly know how to pronounce it because I actually looked it up before this video, and every video I watched pronounced it just a bit differently. So I'm going to go with my favorite of the bunch, Toaplan. This is the Toaplan Shooters Collection for the Sega Genesis, released by Limited Run Games, although also distributed by Castlemania and Retrobit Studios. So, this is a pretty cool box set of tons of Genesis shooters, some of which never made it to North America previously. So we're going to have a look at what's inside, and I'm going to review all these games. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Okay, so here's the box. It's very glossy, so you can kind of see the camera there. Hey, how's it going? And it actually looks like one of those old school VHS collections, you know, of like a series. Like, here's season 1 of Star Trek: The Next Generation or whatever. Only the dimensions are a little bit off, but that's okay because it is not that. So let's have a look at the games. Okay, Truxton, there we go. So wow, it's actually got it's a nice embossing and the nice like 3D effect. I love this cover art. I think this is really cool, like old school sci-fi. It's got a cool cardboard sleeve over the regular Genesis plastic box. Wow, and each one comes with a bunch of different stuff. This is actually, this whole unboxing portion might be a lot longer than I planned for. This is great. So, puffy sticker set. Cool. These 3D little stickers. I remember getting those puffy stickers back in the day. I don't know all of what this is other than... Oh, certificate of authenticity, so you know I didn't make this stuff up. Okay, so these are just some art cards. This is, I guess, the maker of the game? Oh, wow, yeah, so he gives there's a whole interview with him. That's really cool. So, that's actually worth checking out. And of course, instruction manual. Yeah, very typical quality for the era, I would say. Very nice. I love the artwork. Not tons of cool artwork in here, but it's very functional and also in Japanese if that is your preferred language. So there you go. Well, the cartridge is in this cool pinkish purple, and yeah, that's great. Truxton. So next one, Hellfire. Again, very cool artwork. A bit of a B-movie science fiction-esque. The back is a little more straightforward, which is fine. Pull the cardboard out for a different artwork. Yeah, so it's kind of cool. It's like, yeah, I get 2 different cover arts. And yeah, just like that one, we get some stickers, some other power upgrades, as it were. So it's all similar kind of stuff in the package, but each package has its own unique flair to it. So yeah, so once you open one, you kind of know what to expect from the others, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Again, an instruction booklet, very functional, some artwork. Yeah, so yeah, basically you can kind of copy and paste. This one has a cool looking kind of a teal, greenish, bluish cartridge. Ah, see, look at this. This implies to me that there's more than one artwork in here. Oh, don't want to rip anything, gotta be careful. Ah, so there you go. See, you switch to this artwork if you see fit. So there you go. Each one actually comes with 1, 2, 3 different artworks, depending on what you like, I guess, right? Next is Fire Shark. This one has less of a sci-fi look because it looks like it's going for more old school, but I do like the fact that it's just plain and a shark. And there you go. There you go. How can you not trust a guy with a mustache like that? Awesome, very awesome. And again, copy and paste, stickers, more of the same for the power upgrades. Yeah, they're really emphasizing this guy's mustache, I gotta say. And this one's got kind of a yellowy color to it. There you go. Cool yellow cartridge. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's see what the alternate artwork is. Oh, see, this one's kind of cool. I might even prefer this. He doesn't have the mustache. He has a bit of a whole beard going on there, so it's very scruffy. And it looks very, this one looks very hand-drawn, very anime almost. Cool, yeah, there we go. And here we have Zero Wing. Very cool, very cool. Now, Zero Wing is probably the highlight of the bunch, as people, it's sort of the most infamous of the bundle due to the meme that came from it. It was a meme before meme was even a word. So there's an instruction manual. Yeah, that's right, see? All your base belong to us. This is the game that it came from. I hope they didn't fix that translation error because, I mean, you just can't make stuff like that up. And they're clearly capitalizing on it, so why would they? Although my favorite line from that whole dialogue is, "Someone set up us the bomb." There we go. This one's a kind of a cool translucent purple. Zero Wing. I'm actually really looking forward to playing this one. So there we go, and there's all the games, plus a few extra things that came with it. Because I got it through Castlemania Games and not Limited Run, I got this little Castlemania sticker. Rondo Products. A thank you note from the game designer, Masahiro Yugi, and Tatsuya Uemura. I probably said that wrong. My apologies, guys. I am too white. And a cool little pin saying, "All your base are belong to us." These were just extras in the package, making this a very cool package overall. So yeah, these are great. I am a big fan of all the artwork and the packaging that comes with it. Definitely, if you are a collector and you just love looking at stuff like this, this is definitely worthwhile. However, some of us get games to play and not just to look at. So I wish that was me more often than not. So I'm going to play each of these games. I have never played them before, but this is going to be my first time, and so I'm going to give you my first impressions. Just give them a really quick playthrough as best I can, and tell you my thoughts on them, and just see how they stack up against each other, and just shoot 'em ups in general. So I love shoot 'em ups. I am terrible at shoot 'em ups, so there's a little bit of context for my reviews. Thanks so much, everybody. Let's go jump in. Truxton is a vertical shooter that reminds me a bit of Blazing Lasers for the TurboGrafx 16. You fly upward, blasting bug creatures and spaceships, and some combination thereof. Along the side, you get 3 columns where you can see how many power-up icons you've collected, how many bombs you have in stock, and how many lives you have before you get a game over. You are destroyed by a single hit, as is unfortunately common in shoot 'em ups, but at least you get a generous amount of continues. Also, there are many checkpoints, but seasoned shooter fans know that this can be a double-edged sword if beating certain bosses require better power-ups. Grab a P for a weapon power-up, an S for a speed upgrade, and different colored icons to switch between different kinds of blasters. All 3 choices are actually pretty good, but I tend to stick with the widespread blast, even if it does seem a little less powerful. Truxton has a pretty good difficulty curve, so making any progress doesn't feel impossible, but after the first main boss, it does ramp up in difficulty. Look for these little HR Giger faces for power-ups, as they will be the key to your progress. There are loads of different enemy designs which keep things interesting, and you'll get to know their individual behaviors and patterns. They're super creative, but I do wish that there was maybe a more consistent theme to the enemies. They kind of have a very anything goes kind of feel. The backgrounds, on the other hand, are pretty uninspired. Sometimes they're cool, but often they're just stretches of blue. And even when they have textures, it doesn't feel like it's pushing the Genesis graphically. No parallax scrolling or needs texture effects or anything like that. It's functional, but it's nothing special. All in all, I had fun playing it. I want to play it more. I feel that addictive quality as it plays. Every time I want to get further and further into the game, and usually I do get a bit farther. I give Truxton a recommendation. Hellfire is a horizontal scrolling shoot 'em up that focuses on a central mechanic, where instead of picking up power-ups that change your weapon, your ship has all the weapon modes built in, and rather than it being a different weapon, it's the direction of your weapons. You start with a forward blaster, move to backward blaster, then vertical, and then diagonal. Each one codes your ship in a different color in order to make for quicker recognition. Getting used to this system takes a little bit of time, but once you see that the levels are designed around this concept, you learn to adjust to it very quickly. After all, it's do or die. And after that, I start to appreciate the design of this game and how it capitalizes on its mechanic. So many shooters can feel very much the same, and so they need something to set them apart from one another. And even something as simple as designing this weapons mechanic makes Hellfire special. Graphically, it's a bit more impressive than Truxton with some multi-layered scrolling, though it's not the most impressive on the system. And I like the animation and some of the poses the enemy ships are in. For example, these robots with guns are angled differently depending on where you are on the screen. And something about it looks like they just put a lot of effort into even just minor enemies. It is still a one-hit death, and while there are tons of continues, they're not as helpful because checkpoints are not as frequent. So you will need to get good at this one, but it is certainly one that makes you want to improve and get farther. Fire Shark is the only game in this collection that doesn't have a science fiction theme, but takes place with planes in what looks to be around World War II. Well, kinda. It's kind of old-timey and science fiction-y because, let's get real. It plays very similarly to Truxton with vertical scrolling and relying on P's for power-ups and S's for speed boosts, with the inventory of lives and bombs to the right, though you need to gather 3 P's in order for an upgrade to take effect. These power-ups come from these blimp enemies, so it's really nice that the bad guys keep sending them to us. So you start off with a spread shot, which is actually very handy, and there are 2 weapon variations that you can switch to by grabbing colored power-ups along the way. A and C are blaster buttons, and B shoots a bomb. It's not a clear all bomb, but it destroys all in its blast radius, which is very helpful. I highly recommend switching away from the default setting for your blaster in the options menu and making it rapid fire. During my first playthrough, I had to keep pressing A to shoot, and it got tiring very fast. Aesthetically, this may be the weakest game of the package. The music isn't particularly exciting, and has some of that Genesis tinny sound, but nothing is terrible. The graphics are decent, and I like many of the enemy designs, but the backgrounds aren't anything special. They're perfectly functional. One of the oddest things that confused me until I figured out what was happening was when you take a hit, you don't just explode, you descend and crash. I see what they're doing, but at first you may be confused because when you explode, it's not when you take a hit. You get hit, and you can still steer and shoot for a moment as the fall begins. You may think you've dodged a blast, and you didn't. It's not a big problem, it was just something that I had to figure out and get used to. And by the way, yes, it is also one-hit kills. Zero Wing was the game of the bundle that I was most looking forward to, and they thankfully kept the main reason people are still interested in this game and left the poor translation as it is, complete with "someone set up us the bomb," "what you say," and of course, "all your base are belong to us." As far as presentation goes, Zero Wing is the game in this collection that impresses the most. It has that famous intro, but also has some other short animations that just make a stronger impression and give the game more personality. The music is the best of the bunch, with more bassy sounds, using the Genesis sound chip very well. The level designs are more interesting, using more textures in the backgrounds and foregrounds, while also forcing the player to move around more than just dodging blasts, squishing through passageways and crevices. The first power-up will give you 2 indestructible satellites, not unlike the options from Gradius, that will triple your firepower and protect you from projectiles. From that point, you can get the speed upgrades, power upgrades, and 2 other different blasters, my favorite being the blue laser blast, though you could argue that the tracking green shots are more appropriate for some instances. Like all of these games, it is a single hit kill, but at least those satellites do protect you from a lot of projectiles, especially coming from top and the bottom. The main flaw of this game is unfortunately a pretty big one, in that the sprite you play is a bit too big and a bit slow to do the maneuvering that it needs to do. The controls feel a lot more sluggish than the other games, and it increases the difficulty in a less satisfying way. The big detailed ship sprite is nice to look at, but unfortunately, the cost is that the sprite is a little bit too big. So in some ways, the gameplay was compromised for the aesthetics of the game. Overall, this is a great package. Presentation is wonderful, and having this sturdy box set makes for a great collector's piece. Hardcore shoot-'em-up fans should have a great time with it, but gamers who like a lot of variety in games may need to pace themselves here. These games follow a basic formula, and each one just has some variations on that formula. At their core, if you've played one, you played them all. Out of the bundle, the one that has the most unique gimmick and stands furthest from the pack would be Hellfire. As far as the one that looks and sounds the best, that would be Zero Wing by quite a bit. Truxton and Fire Shark are both perfectly good, but their differences are pretty superficial, mostly just swapping a sci-fi aesthetic for a wartime Earth aesthetic. Overall, the Toaplan Shooter collection is a great package. So that is my first impression review of the Toaplan Shooter collection. Be sure to like and subscribe, it really helps this channel out so much. And be sure to share this video with any shooter enthusiasts in your life. Thanks for watching.